All right, guys, welcome back to week number 4 of the Totally Worth It podcast. I'm Kendall.
And I'm Haley.
And we are your hosts. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our 4th week of doing this podcast, and we are excited. How are you, dear?
I'm good.
Good?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm tired because we always do this at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we do. Well, that's the only time we can do it.
Yeah, that's true.
But it almost sometimes feels like you kind of dread doing it.
I do dread it leading up to it because it's almost like another chore that's been added to my weekly to-do list. But once we start doing it,
but once you hit
fun.
the record button and then you start talking, it's a lot more. It's fun.
Yeah, I do enjoy it once I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym. Nobody wants to go to the gym, but you feel good once you're there.
Yeah, I wish that people could see us when we're doing this.
No, because I'm so comfortable.
Oh man, we've got quite the setup. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but
no.
We've got quite.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. We're just doing it.
Just leave it at that.
We've got quite the setup. So yeah, week number 4. Last 3 weeks have been fun, and we're back for the 4th of the first month.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about quite a few things. And one of the things that we talked about was personality.
I don't even remember how we got on that topic.
I'm trying to think. I honestly can't remember.
I just remember us saying like, oh, well, maybe we can take those tests and then come back next
we
week.
were talking about, when we were talking about marriage and stress and anxiety and that kind of thing and how it affects each person differently.
Yeah.
And we were talking, you mentioned that you thought it would be helpful if we could do that it would be interesting to do a personality test to see what the other person.
Yeah, and why we handle stress the way we do based on the type of people we are.
Yeah, because we are 2 very different types of people.
Yeah, clearly. I just pulled it up.
So, with that being said, we did both take a personality test this week, and we are going to go through some of that now. Yeah. I'm not really literate as far as the personality test stuff is concerned, so Haley's kind of leading the charge on that. All I did was take the test. She's going to kind of give our results, and we'll find out together because I don't really know what my number means either. So.
Okay, so the Enneagram test, you are considered type 1. Type 1s are considered the reformers.
The reformers.
It says 1s are conscientious and ethical with a strong sense of right and wrong. They are teachers, crusaders, and advocates for change, always striving to improve things but afraid of making a mistake. Well,
that sounds about right.
Well organized and orderly. Don't know about that. They try to maintain high standards but can slip into being critical and perfectionistic.
Shots fired.
They typically have problems with resentment and impatience. And then it lists like a couple things, and it says their basic fears are of being corrupt / evil or defective.
I do fear being considered evil.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know many people who aren't, but.
And then your basic desire is to be good, to have integrity, and to be balanced.
Booyah.
Yeah.
Got it. So basically, my desire is to be a great person.
Yeah, it says key motivations: want to be right, to strive higher and improve everything, to be consistent with their ideals, to justify themselves, to be beyond criticism so as not to be condemned by anyone.
The last one is real big, to be beyond criticism. I don't.
Yeah.
I can see that. Now, I have been called a lot of things in my day, but whoever wrote this test, I'm sorry, well organized is not one of them.
No, absolutely not. You are the worst organized person I've ever seen in my life.
That's a bit much. Maybe.
I mean, Okay. Whatever.
Let's see how she feels. Yeah, I can agree with most of that.
Yeah.
I have it's not that I care that much about what people think. It's that I don't want them to think I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
So I guess that could also be a negative thing because that kind of hints that I'm not being a good person to be a good person. It's being a good person so that in fear of someone thinking I'm not a good person.
Right. But I don't think that's the case.
It's like growing up when I played basketball at my school. One of our coaches said that we didn't win because we wanted to win. We won because we didn't want to have to run at practice.
Yeah.
Kind of that same vibe, but for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty accurate for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like life changing.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like perfect cookie cutter for me, but
you were very close. You were a 1 and an 8 were like the exact same. But I was reading the 8 and it just didn't really describe
What does the 8 say? Just for kicks and giggles.
Hang on. Okay. 8 was the challenger. It says 8s are self-confident, strong and assertive, predictive, resourceful, straight-talking, and decisive, but can also be egocentric and domineering.
Wow, he's none of those things.
No. It says 8s feel they must control their environment, especially people, sometimes becoming confrontational and intimidating.
See, I feel like that could... So, listen,
okay, this next part, it says 8s typically have problems with their tempers and with allowing themselves to be vulnerable. And I just feel like that's not you. You don't really have anger issues.
I don't have anger issues, but I do have a problem allowing myself to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm a stone wall.
Right.
Even with you.
But it says
a lot of the times.
Their basic fears are of being harmed or controlled by others. The basic desire is to protect themselves.
You want to hear what I really think about that? The reason that and this is actually pretty profound. I think that the reason I think the 1 and the 8 were both the top things for me is because I think my home life is a 1 and my work life is an 8.
Yeah, for sure.
Because everybody is. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of times people are a different person at home and a different person at work.
You have to be.
Yeah, that's true, but I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah.
And the 8, very assertive and whatever the different things that you were saying. It sounded more like me at work than it did me at home.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let me ask you this: the thing that was the least on my report for my personality was a 9. Mm-hmm. And I want to know what that is because it was like the tiniest little piece of the pie.
It is Enneagram 9 is the peacemaker.
Oh, wow.
It says 9s are accepting, trusting, and stable.
Wow. Oh, so insulting.
They are usually creative, optimistic, and supportive, but can also be too willing to go along with others to keep the peace. They want everything to go smoothly and be without conflict.
Also me at work.
Their basic fear is loss and separation, and their basic desire is to have inner stability, quote, peace of mind.
Wow. And that was the least thing that I am.
What did you answer on this test?
So my vote is probably, from what I've heard so far, mine is probably, I would think, a
1.
6 or 7 out of 10 for accuracy.
I would say like 7 out of 10.
We'll go with 7 out of 10 for accuracy.
Okay. Mine is a straight up 10 out of 10.
I'm excited to read yours. Or how about you let me read the thing?
No. Let me read it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so I am an Enneagram 6. I'm a type 6.
You know 6 is an evil number. Right?
Oh my gosh, hush. So 6 is the loyalist. And it says the committed, security-oriented type. 6s are reliable, hardworking, responsible, and trustworthy. They're excellent troubleshooters. They foresee problems and foster cooperation, but can also become defensive, evasive, and anxious, running on stress while complaining about it.
Read that last sentence again.
Listen,
We need to hear that again.
They can be cautious and indecisive, but also reactive, defiant, and rebellious. They typically have problems with self-doubt and suspicion. At their best, internally stable and self-reliant, courageously championing themselves and others. Our basic fears are of being without support and guidance, and our basic desire is to have security and support.
That's fair. Defensive when stressed out.
It says key
Could not be a
motivations.
more accurate statement.
It says want to have security, to feel supported by others, to have certitude and reassurance, to test the attitudes of others towards them, and to fight against anxiety and insecurity.
I can see that last part.
Yeah.
Go back to that sentence where it said something about defensive.
They can
while
also become
stressful.
defensive, evasive, and anxious, running on stress while complaining about
While
it.
complaining about it.
There's never
That
been a
is-
more accurate
That
thing
sentence,
for
you
me.
need to get that on a t-shirt. You need to get that on a t-shirt. You can make
running
t-shirts.
on stress while complaining
Running
about
on
it.
stress while complaining
That's
about
gonna
it.
be my new slogan. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
that for work.
Running on stress while complaining about it. That's you. You can make that t-shirt.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's hilarious.
That can be our
dude.
first piece of merch.
It might be, seriously. If we ended up doing that, that's for sure going to be
Running
one of
on
them.
stress
Because all the
while complaining
OG people
about
who listen in the beginning and listen to this episode, they'll know.
They're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, there's
oh my
Haley."
gosh, running on stress while complaining about it. Look at my new bracelet.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that is hilarious, dude. So what do you think yours is, accuracy wise?
I mean, it's like a 9 out of 10.
Because I never heard of this Enneagram thing.
So it says,
I had never heard of it.
really?
I picked some other, just for clarification for everybody who's listening, I picked some other random personality test, and
Yeah, I
I
did not
did it,
like
and then I
yours.
sent it to her, and I was like, okay, did you do the test thing? She was like, no, we're not doing that one.
Yeah.
And she's like, you got to do an Enneagram. That's what everybody's doing.
That's what most people
Enneagram.
understand when you say, "Oh, I'm a type 6." People
Just-
know what you're talking about.
Okay, just also for clarification, when I say Enneagram, I'm pretty sure that the word is pronounced so much differently than that, but it just quickly looks like that if you glance at it.
How do you think it's pronounced?
It's spelled weird. Look at it.
It's literally Enneagram.
How does it spelled though?
ENNEAGRAM.
That EA part is we're probably messing that up. Enneagram, maybe?
Enneagram.
We're messing it up for sure.
Whatever.
But anyway, Enneagram, Enneagram, Anagram, whatever.
Yeah. It's pretty.
So you're a defensive, stressed out person, and I am
But it also
lacking
says,
all positive qualities.
it says that we're titled the loyalist because we're the most loyal to their friends and to their beliefs. We will go down with the ship and hang on to relationships of all kinds far longer than most other types.
Oh, wow.
It says even to the belief that all ideas or authority should be questioned or defied.
You definitely defy authority. That's facts.
Yeah.
That's big facts.
I'm here for it. I mean, it's definitely me. I can't deny that at all.
I'm still stuck on running
Runs on stress.
while complaining about it.
You know who I get that from?
Who?
My mama.
Yes, that's a fact. Running on stress while complaining about it. That is your mama.
I'm gonna get her a shirt with that first as a gift.
You need to, yeah. Because if this thing does blow up and that becomes a piece of merch, that she needs to know that she has had a part in that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. That's why I was glad we didn't go through these all the way before the podcast,
Yeah.
so we could. That was golden, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Thought I heard like a motorcycle or something.
There's a car going down the road.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So yeah, those are our personalities. I'm not 100% satisfied with my test, but hers was pretty darn accurate.
Yeah.
I might take it again.
And see if it changes.
See if it changes.
You'll have to
Well,
let
here's
me know.
here's a thought. What if 6 months from now or a year from now we take it again
Okay.
to see if we have changed?
Probably. I feel like I'm not gonna change.
Yours might be the same.
Yeah.
But Maybe if you take the test at
I think
lunchtime.
I think if I would have taken that test before I had a child, it would have been different.
Oh, yeah.
But now I just so fiercely and strongly believe and defend so much.
Yeah. You're very, very. I mean, when before we had Joe, you were a lot more. I think the word would be free spirited and maybe more.
Where are you going with this?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, you as a person, since you and I have been together, you were more kind of go with the flow person
on a whim.
when we met. And then when we had Joe, you're like,
well, your whole life changes.
Yeah,
so you change.
It absolutely. But it was almost like you and I. Actually, it took me a lot longer to become this way, but I am now.
Yeah.
In a sense, but it was like when we had Joe, you etched all of your morals on a stone tablet, and now you go everywhere holding them up in public. You know,
having a kid changes you. Whatever you felt or believed in, now it's like times 100.
Yeah,
and that could be like, that's any topic, but I mean. And I think it stems from the fact of, they say it's unconditional love, and it really is, because there is nothing on this planet I won't do for her.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
And I 100%. Think that's where the loyalty, my test said.
For sure.
I've never had to be that loyal to someone.
Yeah.
But you are all they have.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with you. Because when you have a kid, it's like, and especially with the first one, I mean, ours was first and last, but, man, we can talk about that probably in another episode. But when you have a kid, it's so life altering. I feel like when you go from kid 1 to kid 2, it's a little bit less life altering because you have more of an idea of what to expect. Mm-hmm. I don't know this because we don't have 2 kids, but when you have that first kid, it's like everything that mattered to you, goals, morals, dreams. Everything that mattered to you is just like it was all on a big dry erase board of your life, and then like the kid's toy that you draw on and you slide the bottom piece over and it erases the whole thing. It's like that's what happens in one day when that child is born, and then you just start writing everything new.
Yeah. And
they're all different. Everything that
it all has to do with them.
Yeah, and things that mattered to you prior suddenly, not because they're bad things, but you just have zero interest in those things anymore. And your only interest is this little thing that's crying. And you want everything that you do or dream about or want to revolve around that thing and making sure that thing has the best possible life.
Yeah.
And it's just such a weird, it's so weird because I always got annoyed with parents. Parents annoyed me. Not necessarily my parents, but just in public, parents annoyed me because they're all like, lovey-dovey with their kid, and like you're like, oh my God, like just be people,
Yeah.
Stop. It's a kid. We know what it is. It's not a newly discovered thing.
I think that's a man thing.
Maybe so.
Because even like as a teenager, young adult. Seriously.
Whoops. Sorry, I dropped something. Keep going.
Even as like a teenager, young adult, before I had kids, like I would see kids in the grocery store and be like, "Oh my God!" And I felt like my heart would just explode, and I'd be like, "I want one so bad." But I feel like it's different for men.
I mean, I don't know about it being different for men, but it was definitely that way for me. I mean, I would be in the store or Walmart or whatever, and somebody's like got their kid in the buggy, and they're sitting up front in the buggy, and they're pushing the buggy through the store, and they're looking at their kid, nose to nose, like, oh, you're the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I love you, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, those people are freaking stupid. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
And now you're that person.
And now I am 1,000% that person.
Yeah.
I will do anything with Joe in public as long as I know that she's having an absolute blast. And it doesn't matter who's watching. And I see people now
looking at
that
you.
I used to be.
Yeah.
And it's almost funny because I did not understand it at the time. And it's almost like you get
a glimpse.
Well, yeah, you get a glimpse, and you wish you could just go over to those people and be like, hey, I know you're looking at me. I know you think I'm stupid, and I'm sorry. But one day, you're going to know what I'm talking about. You're going to do the same stupid stuff. And that's also, I think, where those personalities play in when you're younger and you're developing what your personality is and what your friend circle is and how all that plays into you when you start a family. And it's just cool to watch because everybody's so different.
Yeah, that is true.
Especially with their kids. Everybody's so different. Some people will go through the store and they're like, here's a tablet, don't talk, stuff your mouth with grapes, let me shop. And then some people's like, holding the kid upside down, pretending they're a rocket ship on the cereal aisle,
Yeah.
And both are acceptable things, I guess.
Yeah, to each their own.
To each their own. But it's funny how you can see personalities in people. So it is interesting to take these tests and look at that kind of thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about your new favorite show. That I think is hilarious.
It's not my favorite show.
It is your favorite show. Not. It has become one of your favorite shows.
So a little backstory first. So me as a person, Kendall as a person, does not like reality television at all, or did not like it. I didn't watch it. I like fantasy, sci-fi, horror, anime, anything that will take me to a different world. And I can just live there for 30 minutes during this episode of whatever.
But I finally taught you the like little bit of pleasure you get out of bad reality TV.
And nothing, I'm trying to think of how to say it. Nothing detests me more than seeing other people's lives that are real and like drama and things that I hate seeing in person. I even more hate seeing them on television now.
Until now.
With that being said, the Golden Bachelor came out. So those of you who are listening, if you don't know what that is, I'm sure you know what the Bachelor is or the Bachelorette. I don't and have never watched any of those shows. I've always hated them. I've always hated them. However, when the idea of this Golden Bachelor came out, I thought, that is a really interesting idea, because I always thought from the outside looking in that the appealing part of the Bachelor or the Bachelorette is that there's these like young, perfect looking, attractive people. You're watching them all fight each other for the love and the blah, 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 and the drama. And everything is so appearance-based. Mm-hmm. And then now they come up with this idea for the Golden Bachelor where it's like an old guy and there's going to be a bunch of old people, which is weird. So I know that it's not going to be like... I know that ahead of time that the episodes are not going to be as sexual oriented as the Bachelor and Bachelorette, because I just don't care that much about that.
Right.
Nothing against anybody who loves those shows. That did not appeal to me.
Right.
I want to see rocket launchers in space and ghosts. I just the sexual aspect of Bachelor Bachelorette is not my cup of tea. And but the idea of old people trying to date, trying to find love when they're old. I just thought to myself, that's going to be funny to watch.
Yeah.
And boy, was it.
It was something.
Because I came home.
And now I'm just even more excited, and they haven't confirmed it or put it out there yet. But they have to at least do one season of the Golden Bachelorette.
Oh, you already know.
But they haven't announced anything about it. They said there might not be, but you can't.
But they did say, I did see something online about them casting for the Golden Bachelorette. That it is going to happen.
Oh,
that they're casting for the men or whatever. Searching for the men for it. So it happened. I told Haley, I said, remember I told you, I was like, hey, I really want to watch that because I think it'll be hilarious.
And I was like, do what? Let's watch it right now.
Because up to then, you and I do not watch reality shows together, period.
No, I watch reality
She
TV.
watches them when I'm gone, and that's like her thing. And then when she's gone, I watch sci-fi and anime and all this other weird stuff.
Yeah.
And, but that is one thing that we have never watched together. And boy, we had such a blast watching the Golden Bachelor.
Hard.
We laughed, and
these old ladies out there playing pickleball.
Oh my god!
It's just so funny.
And
if y'all haven't watched it yet, you should
if
totally
you
go
haven't,
back
we are
and watch the first season.
by no means sponsored by that.
But we could be.
But
we would be.
But Golden Bachelor, if you want to, hit us up. But that was such a fun show to watch. It was ridiculous, and it was funny, and it wasn't like overly sexualized. It was legitimately focused on like these people finding love outside of a bedroom.
Yeah.
Which was very enticing and funny to me because they're so old. And you just
people still do it, man.
I know they do, but it's just weird, and that's the funny part to me, and that's why I wanted to watch it, because I want to see how they're going to approach the moments where normally in like Bachelor or Bachelorette would be like the, either like the
overnight,
the steamy moments or the dramatic moments. Like, I know how a 25-year-old is going to react when they see their love interest kissing somebody else.
Yeah.
But what's a 70-year-old going to do? They might like pull a gun out and shoot you or something. Like, what do they have to lose?
And those women were full of it.
Oh, dude, they were so...
You want to know what I would say, though? Like, I know he ended up with...
Spoiler alert, by the way. If you haven't watched it, pause right here because she's about to give it away.
Yeah. I can't even think of her name.
Was it Crystal or something?
No. I can see.
Starts with an L.
No.
You talking about the runner-up?
No, who he ended up with. It was I don't know. I can't think of her name. Dark hair.
She was dark hair, skinny. We didn't like her.
It's not that I didn't like her. She just wasn't my top favorite.
We didn't.
Who I wish and who I think he would have ended up with if things wouldn't have changed. No, Joan. If Joan wouldn't have had to leave.
Joan's the one that looked like the lady from Sons of Anarchy, right?
No, that was Faith.
Oh, Faith. Who is Joan? Joan was the teacher.
The blonde-headed lady that had to leave because her daughter had a baby and was going through postpartum. They really had a connection.
Yeah.
And I was rooting for it.
It's so stupid to say that.
They really had a connection on TV.
They really had a connection on episode 4.
But I really do think if she wouldn't have had to leave, she would have been in that top 3 at the end.
Yeah.
Or top 2, or whatever.
Yeah, she was good. And then they it's like in those shows they always intentionally put one person in there because they know that person's going to cause some trouble.
Oh, Kathy.
And they had an old lady named Kathy on there, and boy, we laughed and ate popcorn every week watching that junk and watching Kathy do her Kathy thing.
It was hilarious.
God, it was so funny, and I just could not get over how hilarious it was and how much fun I had watching that show.
Yeah.
And then when it got towards the end, I was like, dang it. You know? Who am I becoming? Who am I?
So, if you had to, I don't know if they'll pull from those women or if they'll like completely pick another
They
random
should pull
one.
from those women.
They
should.
Who would your like top 3 guesses be for who's going to be the Bachelorette?
I don't think that it would be Leslie because, and when I talk about this show, listen, full disclosure, when I talk about any of these shows, I am not talking about these people specifically in real life. I'm talking about them as if they are a character on a show.
Right.
So when I say something that's insulting, I don't want it to sound like I'm trashing this person as a person.
Yeah.
They're on a TV show. So you sign the dotted line, people are going to judge you. It just is what it is. So, with that being said, Leslie, I just didn't think she was as interesting enough to go for a 9 episode.
She had been hurt a lot, and she had never been married,
like
and
sappy and like sob story kind of ordeal. I just never it's so many, and she was married like 3 times or something crazy like that. It's like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that
I think
Faith and Joan. I think Joan would be the because she was the administrator of a school or something
like that.
She's the one that read that poem for him at the talent show. Yeah. She would probably be my number 1. She'd probably not be my number 1 guess.
Just love how into this you are.
I hate it.
Joan, Faith, and who?
Let me see here. Who else do we have?
Oh, what was the other?
Joan, Faith.
The other blonde-headed lady that he had a good connection with.
The one with the wedding dress?
Yeah.
Who like was crying on the bench or something?
Yeah. I can't think of her name.
I can't remember either.
But yeah, probably her.
I would say Joan would probably be the best one, or Faith. Both
Faith
of them.
was so like wholesome and.
But how weird would it be, and how weird will it be when a show comes on where there's like, okay, there's this older woman, she's in her 70s or late 60s, she's looking for love, and then the rest of the show you're looking at like a bunch of old dudes. How weird is that going to be? What do they do? You know?
I mean, it'll be just like
do?
The Bachelor was.
What do they do at the mansion, though? You know, they wake up and all go have breakfast at McDonald's, you know?
No, it'll be like the women. They'll get in the pool.
Do they start filming at 5:30 in the morning when old people get up, you know?
And it has to wrap up by 7:30?
Yeah, it has to wrap up by 7:30. Like, it's just so funny to me. And then through that show, over the course of watching it, I discovered why people enjoy watching those kinds of shows.
Yeah, tell me why I enjoy that.
Okay, you want my opinion? I'm fixing to read you like a book, right?
Okay.
I'm fixing to read women like a book right here. And the reason that I'm saying this with authority and I know it's correct is because I felt this way after I was finished watching it.
Okay.
You enjoy watching things like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or The Golden Bachelor, whatever it may be. And a lot of men are talking junk about me right now listening to this, saying he's whatever, you know. But I'm just saying, I'm with you. I was there, but I got sucked in, and I just couldn't climb out. but when women watch, or men, when women watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Golden Bachelor, whatever, the reason that it sucks you in so much is because they design the show in such a way that makes you, the viewer, feel as if you are connected to them as a person and somewhat vicariously involved in it emotionally.
Yeah.
You get to take part in their happiness and their sadness without any consequences.
Yeah, like you're not taking the risk, but you get the enjoyment from it.
Yeah, you get to be in the room and be on the date and be in the rose ceremony and be in the engagement, but you don't have to suffer any of the heartbreak or any of the happiness.
Oh, yeah. That's 100% why it was designed.
And the same reason that I watch an anime, or like right now I'm watching One Piece, the pirate cartoon anime, whatever you want to call it. And one of the reasons I like that is because it takes you to a different world where you're responsible for nothing.
Yeah, that's why I read books.
And the same reason is that I think that people watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette, whatever, Golden Bachelor, all of it, is because it takes you to a place where you can take part in the emotional attachment to these people and this story and everything. But at the end of the day, you get to hit the power button on your remote and go to sleep.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with any of the fallout or the responsibilities of it.
Yep.
And I will say that is exciting. I think that is a something that I didn't know that I enjoyed until after I was in the middle of it. And I was like, ooh.
And now he's like, I can't wait for the newest season of The Bachelor to come out. And I'm like, what?
Well, during the show, they did what was it? Was it at the wedding or before that?
It was the finale.
It was one of the last episodes. They introduced the Bachelor, the new Bachelor guy, Joey. And I was like, oh, he seemed like a cool guy, whatever, you know. And then I got to thinking, and I was like, oh, I wonder how his. And then they showed like a sneak peek video to his season because the whole thing's already been filmed, and I know it's all BS, but
and they're hiding out somewhere.
Yeah, they're all hiding out in a bunker somewhere, waiting on it to air. And I said to myself, I think I said to you, I was like, we should watch that.
And I was like,
and then after the words left my mouth, I'm like, oh my God, who am I? What's happening to me?
That is hilarious.
But
I love it. You have a fit, but all of it is like that. Like all reality TV, whether it's The Bachelor or Love Is Blind or Too Hot to Handle, or all of them, it's all the same thing.
But you got to admit, some of them are too much.
Yeah.
Some of them are like naked people most of the time.
Some of the shows are
ridiculous.
too much, and it's like not even obvious. But the one show that I have gotten into is Love Is Blind, specifically because there is no appearance judgment, like that you don't see that person at all.
So explain that show to me.
So there's so many boys, so many girls, and they're in like,
hopefully,
I guess like dorms kind of, and every day you go into these cubicles and there's a wall in between you. You can hear each other, you can't see each other, and you like go on, the first day you go on like speed dates and you just like talk to everybody that's in both, and then you like have a notebook with you.
But you can't see them.
You can't see them, and you're not allowed to ask like physical features, sexual, anything. Like it's not about appearance. It's the whole thing. Yeah. So then you have like a notebook with you, and you basically like put a star by your most intrigued people, and then you just start going on dates with those people, and you weed it out, and you get down to like your favorite. And then I don't know what the course of time this is, but then if you get down to it and you decide, I want to propose to this person, you like finally get to meet up and the doors open and then you see each other for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And then after that, you get to go on it's like a week or 10-day like vacation, and all the couples that ended up together go. It's like in Mexico or something for 10 days. And then after that, they get to live 3 weeks together. They put them in like in apartments in the real world, and they have to go back to work, figure out like, can this work?
Gosh.
And I think I'm so drawn into it.
That sounds horrifying.
But I think I'm so drawn into it because the whole initial thing of it is, like, we know what both of these people look like, but they have no idea. And that's so, like, it's like you got the one up. Yeah, it's cool, though. I dig it. And the new season comes out February 14th. and all the people are from Charlotte.
All of them?
Well, I don't think they're all from Charlotte, but it's filmed in Charlotte or something. Like the city takes
Really?
place in Charlotte.
That's close to us.
Yeah. But yeah.
Wow. So, what are your 3 favorite reality TV shows? If you had to pick. Because I'm new to all this reality TV nonsense.
I mean, I don't be watching a lot of reality TV. I mean, I like Love is Blind. And I mean, The Bachelor, Bachelorette. I just feel like that's all one show.
Yeah. Bachelor Nation.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I don't really think that I watch any other reality TV.
Here's a trivia question. If you get it wrong, you're not a true fan. Who is the luckiest person in all of the Bachelor seasons?
Jesse Palmer.
Yeah. Bingo. That guy's the coolest.
He's still
job.
like the best looking guy they've ever had.
That's a fact, dude. What a handsome guy.
He gets paid buku-doodles of
Holy
money to
cow,
just
dude.
walk in, say, all right, it's time to bring them in, and then
Holy
walk out, and then he
homeboy.
comes back in and says, one final rose, and then leaves.
Homeboy doesn't even have a makeup truck or like a wardrobe thing. He just like walks in and he's just like just a gorgeous man.
He is.
You know?
He is.
What a guy. And then his job is to just basically facilitate everyone's heartbreak.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, but you have to leave.
So sorry. So sorry.
Your time.
And then
your
he
time
puts
is
his
up.
hand on their back whenever the one they were really liking decide or they had a problem at home and have to go.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm really sorry. I don't know what I'm here for you.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're going home.
You're going home. You got paid.
Hey, guy, you've already got a family, you know? Oh, what a guy.
All right.
Jesse Palmer.
I think we've talked that one out.
Sorry. Anyway, here's something new that you and I have now tried that we had not tried prior to today, and that is Korean barbecue. Tell me about your experience.
Okay. So, I didn't hate it.
Tell me why you experienced it first, because that'll make more sense.
Okay, so we went for a friend of ours' birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Yeah. Nick's birthday. And he wanted to go to this place called Let's Meet Korean BBQ.
Yep, in Charlotte.
So I mean it's his birthday, so of course we're gonna go.
Yeah.
It wasn't like disgusting, but there were just it was so overwhelming. And when we got there, there's like already all this stuff on the table, like all these sauces and random strange pieces of food that you don't know what they are. You have a burner in the middle of the table, and that like you have to pay $40 a person, and you have to cook it yourself. That's what I don't understand about that kind of stuff. Like, it's no different than like seafood. I don't care anything about going to eat crab legs, because to me, I cannot justify paying $40 for dinner.
Yeah, it was outrageously expensive.
I don't want to pay $40 and have to do all the work.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to cook it, prep it. I just want to eat it. I just want somebody to do it for me.
I love hearing the way that you feel about places that we went and ate.
And I think it was because me and Jessica, that's not really our thing.
Yeah.
And we weren't sitting with people that knew what they were doing either.
Yeah.
And so
I had no clue what I was doing.
But you have talked about this for weeks. Like,
yeah.
You've studied it.
I'm mentally
art.
prepared for it.
Like
I watched TV shows about it.
Yeah, like you already knew what was about to happen. And we were just like, yeah, and everybody's just telling us you can order whatever you want on the menu. They're going to bring it out, but you got to cook it yourself. And you can keep ordering.
Now, they did come out quickly. I was not prepared to order when the guy came out.
Yeah.
And so for anybody listening who doesn't know, who's not familiar with Korean barbecue, so basically what, like South Korea, the normal eating style is that there are tons of different little plates of sides and foods and sauces, and you've got your main bowl of like rice, whatever your grain is, and they give you all your vegetables and sides in little tiny bowls everywhere with sauces, all different kinds of sauces, and then they bring your meats out raw, and in the middle of the table, like Haley said, there's a burner, and you kind of use little tongs and cook your stuff kind of how you want it at the table. There's not like a person that comes by and cooks it for you. Like, you legitimately use the tongs and stuff and cook it.
And I think that, I mean, I cook. I know how to cook, but if I'm gonna have to do it myself, I'll do it at home. Is my thing, and. I'm just not familiar with the type of food, and I mean that's not their fault. But
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I did not know what it was.
But
either.
There were they brought out all this raw meat, and we're trying to cook it, and how do you know when it's done? How do you I don't cook meat. That's your job. I do the sides, man, or the crock pot.
That is our thing.
And right? we didn't know when it was done. There's no way to season anything. When I think seasoning, I need
shakers.
A shaker. And there's random bowls of sauces. You don't know what they are, what they taste SPG? I mean, it was just so overwhelming. It was so freaking loud in there. You couldn't even talk to the person beside you.
Nick's going to be so disappointed when he hears this.
I love you, Nick. And I mean, if it's your birthday next year and that's where you choose, I will suck it up and do it. But
I'll go back with you, Nick.
Nick, yeah, Kendall can go with you. I feel like that's a certain niche of people.
Yeah.
And I'm just not in that. Now, I don't know. It's hard.
There were some things that I ate, though, that I legitimately really, really enjoyed.
My favorite thing out of all of it was the pineapple. They brought us out rings of fresh pineapple, and we threw them on the grill and grilled them. That grilled pineapple was good. And the bulgogi.
Yeah, beef bulgogi.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know if I want to know.
Very thin sliced marinated beef.
Oh, that was really good. But yet y'all were at the other table beside us. Y'all had to cook it and then give it to us. And then we were like, oh, this is good. We don't know what we're doing over here.
Yeah.
Why don't y'all cook it and give us some? Because we're starving.
Yeah.
Me and Jessica were like, all right, so cookout it is after this. We weren't trying to be disrespectful.
Nick, if you're listening to this, we did go to cookout on the way home to get her some food.
So did they. Jessica sent me a picture.
Oh, did they really? Oh gosh.
But I'm not
hilarious.
I don't want to be disrespectful because that is an art and that is those people's way of life.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful way to eat, I think.
And I really think if it wasn't so loud and we were sitting with y'all that actually cook because you like to do it, and y'all could have created us some stuff.
Yeah.
But we just didn't know what the heck we were doing. And we were starving.
I had a blast. Now, was it too far away? Was it nighttime? And was it pouring down rain? Yes.
I ain't
all
even
of those
gonna
things
say that
combined,
it's too far away. Charlotte to me is not that far away, but it was just because it was pouring down rain that was a little stressful.
I wonder if they're open during the day or if it's just a dinner time thing.
I'm pretty sure they're open during the day.
Because I feel like I would want to go and eat lunch. I'd want to go try lunch.
I mean, it's the same food, so it doesn't matter what time of day it is.
I'm saying I want to go in when it's daylight and leave when it's daylight.
Yeah.
I did eat too much. I ate too much, and I felt bad about it. Or not bad about it, but I just felt bad.
Yeah. It's called gluttony.
Yeah, I did. I was a glutton.
A glutton?
Yeah, I was a glutton.
Overindulged.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where I'm like, God, I'm paying freaking $40. I've got to. Which is a terrible way to think.
We have the opposite mindset.
And I also, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I know Haley's not eating $6 worth of food in here. So, and I'm having to pay. We're going to have to pay $40 for her too. And I'm sure Nick was thinking the same thing for his wife, and because we knew that y'all didn't really get down with it. And but anyway, it was a good experience. I've been researching it for quite a bit, and I've always wanted to go to a restaurant like that. So
I'm so glad, but please don't take me back. Now My favorite thing was like the little drink that I tasted at the end.
Yeah, I didn't taste that.
Yeah, it had like aloe or something in it.
It
apparently.
smelled like baby wipes.
No, it did not.
It did.
It
did.
smelled like
It
aloe.
smelled like citrus baby wipes. Is what it smelled
No,
like.
that was good. Whatever it was, I tasted. I don't even know.
I'm sure Nick.
It was
could
like
tell you.
mango, aloe,
Something.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Probably put it on a burn.
Hush.
It was in a big kettle teapot
Yeah,
looking thing.
that was cool. I thought it was going to be hot too because
It wasn't hot?
No, it was ice cold.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
weird. But it was a fun experience.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Nick.
Yeah.
And Nick, next time let's pick a sunny day, and
Y'all go.
me and you'll go.
Me and Jessica will like go take the kids to the park or something.
Yeah, for sure. Can do that. Yeah. So that was a good time. What else you got? Anything?
No, I mean, I think we've been at this for what? I guess this is week 4, so that makes it a month.
Yeah, this is 1 month doing the podcast.
So when we started doing this, we didn't tell anybody.
Correct.
Like, I mean, maybe like 1 or 2 people. We didn't tell hardly anybody.
Yeah.
And we recorded the first 3 weeks and just put it out there to see what would happen. And we had, I mean, I thought we did fairly well considering nobody knew.
Yeah, just out of nowhere kind of deal.
Yeah, there was like people across the country kind of deal. And then Kendall was like, let's just share it one time with like our friends and family on Facebook, see what kind of feedback we get. It's not like we have to promote it every week kind of deal, but let's just put it out there to see how many people we know that can relate to us.
And I was kind of struggling with that because in the beginning, the first episode we had talked about kind of why we were doing this, and one of the things was that I just wanted to commit to something, create something and commit to it. And I just thought this would be something really fun for us to do. And when I kind of spurring off of that, it's more of just kind of an experiment and a hobby, kind of something fun for us to do. So I didn't really want to like treat it like it was like some business venture or something,
Yeah.
And so I guess that's why I didn't really want to share it or anything at first. But then after I got to thinking about it, like, in order for us to make use of it, or for it to be useful to other people, if other people want to listen to it, which, is awesome. But we didn't really have it out there. And so that's kind of why I asked you about that, and you agreed. And so my wife, who knows everyone on the planet, she shared the podcast. You shared it. And we had originally had, 30 or 40 something, probably a little bit more than that, something downloads, which is crazy. It's awesome. And we didn't know really where they came from, and maybe a couple friends that knew about it. But outside of that, we didn't really know who all the other people were. But as soon as she shared it, I mean, it just
blew up.
It kind of blew up and took off, and
we're so grateful for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're super, super grateful. And any of you guys who are listening who had just kind of randomly ended up here, we're grateful for you too. And we hope that you're going to stick around. And if not, that's totally fine. If we're boring, absolutely feel free to not listen to this again.
Yeah.
But for those of you who did stick around and wanted to hear more, we really appreciate y'all and we love y'all. And we are doing this for fun. But we're also doing this because we are bored and awake at 11 p.m. at night every night. So we figure we could use our use our time wisely. And
I mean, because I've had a lot of people reach out.
We have.
Over the past week since I posted it. And it's been nothing but encouragement to say, keep doing it. Like, I really need to hear stuff like that. Or it's good to hear that people we know struggle and are going through the same stuff that we are. And, just a multitude of things. So if there is a specific topic that our friends, family, whatever, want us to cover or discuss,
Yeah.
send me a
Yeah.
message.
Because I mean, we throughout the week we kind of text each other and like, hey, what are we going to talk about this week? And we'll kind of come up with some different things. And but if there is something that you guys really want to hear about from us,
or if you want to like know our opinions on something,
anything like that, we'll be
just send me
more
a
than
message.
happy to do that. But we do really appreciate all the love and support so far, and we are enjoying ourselves doing this. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, I totally am. I just wish we had a different time of day to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. Maybe when Joe finally goes to school later down the road, we'll be able to do it during the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we really appreciate you guys and all the love and support we've gotten so far. And hopefully you can stick around for the rest of it. We're going to keep doing it until we can't keep doing it.
Yep.
But I have spoken my piece, and we just wanted to thank everybody again for listening, and we appreciate y'all. You got anything else, dear?
No, I'm good. Ready to go to bed.
All right, she's ready to go to bed, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to sign it off for week number 4, and we will see y'all back in episode number 5 next week. Thank y'all. We love y'all. See you soon.